Right friends, welcome back to third capsule for 12th week. This is on water crisis. I am going to put forth various important aspects from various reports, some of them pertaining to India, some of them pertaining to global level. Finally, what is to be done in our country basically to face the imminent crisis in the future. Water. Per capita availability in our country, if you see the per capita availability, this is water stress condition. These figures are pertaining to India, please don't forget. So per capita availability of water, the stipulations are water stress condition is 1700 meter cube. If the availability is less than 1700 meter cube per capita, then it is considered as water stress condition, and if it is less than 1000 meter cube, it is known as water scarcity condition. In our country, we are already into water stress condition. In 2017, the availability is 1545 meter cube of water per capita. By 2025, it is expected to be reduced to 1341 m cube per capita. By 2050, it will go down to 1140 m cube per capita. So, we are already into water stress situation and it is going to worsen in future, and these figures are availability of water per capita. If it is less than 1700 cubic meter per capita, that is water stress condition, and we are already into water stress condition. Then other facts in our country, these figures are basically pertaining to India. I have not mentioned here, but please don't forget, the facts are pertaining to India. At present, 56% of population are dependent on groundwater. But groundwater reserves are depleting quite fast. That is the problem. The percentage of population dependent on groundwater are 56% or 68 crore around. Please understand and please take them as rough figures. Percentage of population receiving piped water are just 40% in our country. Districts affected by groundwater contamination are 50%. Then surface water pollution levels, 40% are with coliform bacteria, and several deaths occur due to groundwater contamination. So, this is the ground reality in our country. Let us look at the reports. The first and the foremost is the rate of groundwater extraction at the global level. So, as I have already told you, some of the points especially indicating the alarming situation are pertaining to global level and some pertaining to India. In fact, I have not segregated them, but please listen carefully. Some of the facts pertaining to global level, some pertaining to India level. So, these figures are pertaining to global level. Rate of groundwater extraction is increasing by 1 to 2% a year. Groundwater extraction is increasing at the global level, and almost 1/5 of the world's aquifers are almost dried up. Aquifers, these you can say underground reservoirs. In layman's words, aquifers means they are underground reservoirs. 1/5 of the world's aquifers have almost dried up, and a large number of traditional water bodies such as tanks, ponds, lakes are depleting at a frightening rate. Then aquifer, please look into this. Aquifer is an underground layer of water bearing permeable rock or unconsolidated materials from which groundwater can be extracted. That is the meaning of aquifer. As I have already told you, 1/5 of the world's aquifers have almost dried up. Then second point is, as per some report of WHO and UNICEF, 768 million people, that means approximately 10% of the global population, remain without access to an improved source of water. Then the next one, as per some report of IPCC, approximately 80% of the world's population already suffers a severe threat to its water security. So 80% of the world population already suffers a severe threat to its water security. Then if you look at NASA's report, 13 of the planet's 37 largest aquifers have already depleted. If you look at the global level, 13 of the planet's 37 largest aquifers have almost depleted the water. In fact, there is no water or little recharge. Then point number 5, if you see, this is UN's report has warned that global water resources may soon meet only 60% of the world's water demands. And researchers at Colorado School of Mines caution that nearly 2 billion people could face water shortages, severe water shortages by 2050 due to heavy groundwater usage. 2 billion people by 2050 will face severe water shortage. Then, as per the estimates of the World Bank, India's per capita water availability may shrink to half, which will push the country into water scarce category from the existing water stress category. I have now explained what is water stress category, water scarce category. As per the report of World Bank, India will push into water scarce category, but some other report says that it is not going to happen, but World Bank report says that India will be pushed into water scarce category by 2030. And if you look at other report, the World Bank report cautioned Indian government that countries that lack sufficient amount of water could see their GDP decline by as much as 6% by 2050. Right? Point number 7 is WHO UNICEF report estimated that 97 million Indians lack access to safe drinking water. Point number 8 I have given here. Some CWC estimates say that water resources potential of the country is about 1869 billion cubic meters a year, but the average annual utilizable water is just 1123 BCM a year. Like that, I have given several points, and this is another point. Water and Energy report underlines that agriculture alone accounts for about 85% of all water use. Now, let us look at solutions. The problems are alarming. We have seen both at global level as well as India level. Now, what are the solutions India immediately should look into? The first and the foremost is farmers are still doing agriculture with more and more water guzzling crops like rice and sugarcane, and in fact the country's policies also support rice and sugarcane. Instead, government must promote less water consumption crops. So this is the need of the hour. Second one is, even in water guzzling crops also, we have to look at the crops which take less water. And one example is Shri cultivation in rice. What is the Shri? System of rice intensification. System of rice intensification is one method in rice farming which consumes less water. So this type of innovative thinking must be there. Then third point is tanks are to be revived. This is the need of the hour. Tanks must be revived, and water harvesting must be made mandatory. Even if it is industry or residential, it does not matter. Water harvesting must be made mandatory, and we have to conserve precious resource with the check dams wherever possible. So conserving the water resources is the need of the hour. Then the next point is micro irrigation is one of the readily available options. What is meant by micro irrigation? Micro irrigation means drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation. If we switch over to drip irrigation and sprinkler irrigation, we can save about 50% of water in comparison to conventional methods. for irrigation of water intensive crops such as paddy, sugarcane, banana and vegetables. Lot of water can be saved because 80 to 85% of the water in our country is consumed by agriculture. The need of the hour is how to reduce water use and how to conserve the water, how to harvest the water. So these are the questions which immediately must be answered. Swaminathan report has also highlighted the same option, and the states which affected badly due to reckless exploitation must go for this drip and sprinkler irrigation. Then another important aspect is massive involvement of farmers in distributing water will solve the problem. Water users associations have done quite a good job in states like Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh, and they possess the power. In fact, water user associations will possess the power to use water economically because farmers will be with them, right? So the mechanisms must be strengthened for optimum utilization of water. Next one is volumetric pricing of irrigation water as well as water consumed in urban areas is another solution. In fact, Vaidyanathan Committee report on pricing of irrigation water of 1992, volumetric pricing can lead to efficient use of irrigation water, and the pricing methodology will promote water conservation to a limited extent in rural areas because as water is the only one of the inputs for the farmers. Here, if you look at the pricing methodology, in fact, in rural areas, volumetric pricing of water, it may be slightly difficult to enforce this in rural areas, and at the same time farmers have some other input costs. In the overall sense, it may not make that much difference in rural areas because it is not that easy to implement volumetric pricing of water for agriculture in rural areas. But the point here is volumetric pricing of water will give wonderful results in urban areas. We can at least try to implement it in urban areas. Then the next one is recycling of water and reuse must be promoted. This will not only facilitate the reuse of water, but also important ingredients of salts and fertilizers from wastewater can be separated and can be put into reuse. Then the next solution is for all the buildings. For any structure, as a matter of fact, water harvesting and conservation must be implemented strictly in both urban and rural areas, and building plans must be approved only after proper conservation and harvesting methodologies, right? So these are the things India should implement as early as possible because water crisis is imminent. Right friends, with this let us conclude the third capsule. Please do join for our editorial discussions, comprehension ability discussions. Have a nice day. Thank you.